Alright, here we are. Ah, click load. Don't forget. Ugh, so bright. It's time for me to take a serious look at how full of myself I've been acting. I forgot. I'm furniture. Furniture is a human. So I'm a being who must feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. And I am not permitted to wish for anything more. People sometimes develop affection for furniture they're used to using, but that is an emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no right to hope for such a thing. This is just like Undertale. The objects are becoming real. You missed like the first. You missed nothing. You missed nothing. I just clicked start. Ain't no way, bruh. I told you, this year, dude, this year. Watch. It's enough that furniture serves with simple honesty day after day. That feeling I got when talking to George-sama and Jessica-sama is the same as a forbidden drug to me. In other words, it may be an emotion I must never experience.
Shano?
It's her. Oh, so bro, it's so fast now. You can respond to it. Look, y'all gotta. If there's anything else like that, tell me. I'm not a streamer. I just stream for fun, right? I don't know any of this. You know how long it took me to learn how to be able to even put the chat on screen? And even so, it doesn't look good. It's like the most basic chat on screen ever. I don't know none of this. Teach me. But thank you, Tomato, for telling me of that. That was... I didn't even know that was a thing that could be changed. Oh, Shannon, you've had your head in the clouds for some time now. Do you not feel well? No, my apologies. Natsui's words were right on the mark. Yeah, that was totally me, was it not? Wait, no, I'm scrolling up. It was you, what do you mean? You're acting weird, you're a weirdo. 1 second, I get another ping. Okay, I'm back. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsuki until she had called. Normally it was essential that she focus on her cleaning at this time of day. But she spent all her time sighing and hardly making any progress. Even when there aren't any guests around, you must always be alert. If you were an Umifuller, you would know, technically. I see, there was some drama going on in that channel that I will never be a part of. I understand everything now. Behavior like this is shameful for an Ushiromiya family servant. Yes, ma'am. I sent that in the Umifuller chat and Tomato relayed the message I can. Well, thank you, Sams. Thank you to the Umifullers. Umifuller drama goes crazy. I bet. I'll never get to see it. I will take care from now on. The head and my husband will return very soon. Have you finished cleaning the study? Have you finished cleaning the staircase? My apologies. Not yet. Yes, I know. So I had Who? Ludon? Ludon, do it. While you were plodding around cleaning the hallway, she finished cleaning the study and the staircase. That's because, I wanted to clean it properly, so it took some time. Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly without any omissions. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunon cleverly avoided doing extra work whenever it was possible. So she could complete her jobs with the result that looked almost the same to an outsider, but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was a shrewd employee. Compared to that, it's probably fair to say that Shannon wasn't very shrewd at all, talking back to Natsuhi when Natsuhi was in a bad mood. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuhi could stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased and she spoke sternly. And yet her slow, admonishing style of speech was even more terrifying and finally made Shannon realize she had said the wrong thing. Then perhaps you should aim to do a truly thorough cleaning. Shannon, I order you to clean the reception hall right now. It is an important hall with several pictures treasured by the head are displayed and where honored guests of the Oshinamiya family are welcome. Clean it thoroughly so that not a speck of dust remains and so that even you are satisfied. Of course, you will finish before the day is out. Until you finish that and report to me, you will not be permitted any food or rest. Understood? See, I like her, but she's lame. When Kraus is still alive, I need him dead now, immediately. Yes, ma'am. That is good. Servants should endeavor to only use those words. The next time you talk back, your punishment will be even more severe. So with that in mind, engrave these words into your heart. Yes, madame. Thank you for your guidance. You are welcome. Kraus would invest in crypto, bro. He would. Oh, he technically already has, before crypto, because of him investing in all these hotels and all these crap that's not gonna work out. It's obvious that he would. Behaving as though her headache was troubling her, Natsui headed off down the corridor. When she couldn't see her anymore, Shannon hung her head and sighed. This was what happened when she had her head in the clouds. Even though I'm bad at everything I do, I should be able to at least carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? It's because I can't even perform that very well that I'm crying so pathetically. But what's even more shameful is that not only have I been unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, but just now, when Natsui was scolding me, I imagined that person appearing and rescuing me. If only George-sama was here, would he casually step in and save me? Surely he'd show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he didn't know what was going on, nimbly change the subject and make me forget I've ever been rebuked by Natsuhi. I kept envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of the hallway. I envisioned the kind of person that would be an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting, and I envisioned how unfitting I was for him. Eva clearly told me. It's been repeating over and over in my dreams. You're still as clumsy as always, Nissan. My lady has been in a bad mood since this morning. That just now happened because you talked too much when you should have just hung your head in silence. Kanan-kun. Kanan was suddenly there. His footsteps were always quieter than a cat's, and he never left any trace of his presence. He probably could have stood there forever, and she still wouldn't have noticed him. The expression on Kanon's face was one of hatred. He made that expression for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it herself. Madame and Lunon can fall into hell. That person knows where Madame checks and only cleans those areas. Her cleaning just now was like that. I know because I saw. She wasn't really cleaning. She's just the worst kind of parasite, leeching off you through cleaning. You mustn't use such dirty words. Dirty words pollute your clean soul, Kanan-kun. So at least don't use those words in front of me, okay? Kanan turned away as though sulking. It was a reaction that hid his true feelings, which was very like Kanan, but I was a little happy. A cat? He was getting mad for my sake. Cleaning the reception hall will be tough. I'll help. Thank you. But I was the one Madame ordered, so don't worry. Don't you also have your own work, Kanan-kun? It's a filthy job. My soul was polluted long ago. Kanan then hung his head and bit his lower lip. Just hearing you say you help is enough for me. If you don't go back to your own job, then you'll be punished as well. And that would make me sad. Shannon knew Kanan's character well. Sometimes he didn't think enough about himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he'll help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Kanan was a little sad that his goodwill had been rejected, but he realized that what he was doing would only hurt her more in the end, and he gave a single small sigh. Understood. Do your best, Nissan. Yes, and I am also partly to blame. You aren't at fault at all, Nissan. No, I am. So go now. Kanan-kun's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but without being any more obstinate, he disappeared. Who's Lunon? I got another ping. Even though Kanan-kun came to give me words of comfort when I was down. Whoa! Neat! Apparently you can use said to open up the menu as well. I have learned something new. I would never use this information. Even so, I was dejected again because it wasn't him. That in relief was a sin. That in itself was a sin. It went far beyond any dream the likes of me could be permitted to see. I don't know my place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, already felt her concentration begin to waver. But if she didn't finish up cleaning the reception hall, she would have received Natsuhi's permission to eat. That cruel Natsuhi had surely told the kitchen something to that effect. I have to respectfully receive Madame's punishment. That's right. My position in the world is furniture, and I've been intoxicated by a dream that's beyond me. I finished cleaning the hallway and went into the reception hall. Cool, we haven't seen this area before. Maybe my hunger made my nose more sensitive. I could sense a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen, even though it was far away and my empty stomach was encouraged even more. Until I finished up here, I wouldn't get any soup. Soup. I just had to resolve myself to doing it. Full of soup. Several portraits were hung in the reception hall. One of those portraits was thought to hold a special meaning amongst the servants. It was the portrait of the witch. That wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with elegant blonde hair drawn as the subject of their portrait was Beatrice. It was whispered that she might be the former mistress of Kinso, the family head, and also that she was the great witch who had given Kinso the gold of legend. The witch Beatrice, master of the night on Ronkenjima. She was gracious to those who respected her, but she would surely curse those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect the rules and beliefs such as those. So she thought of the portrait of her other master as that person herself, and always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to tell the witch, who only existed inside the portrait, the secrets of her heart. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain. So she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days. She had no right to open her mouth and say those words. So she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. She spoke her mind inside her heart, using words she couldn't say aloud, and protested to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She didn't console, and she didn't laugh it off. Shannon could only interpret that silence as she liked, and though the witch was responding agreeably. Beatrice-sama, please listen to the story of my worthless self. As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait, she spoke that inside her heart. I certainly am incompetent and uncultured, just as Eva-sama said. I am not a person, so maybe I have no right to love. But in that case, why was I given a heart that can know love? At that point, Shannon held back her tears for a moment. The sound of the rain, which had started falling, along with the chill air in the reception hall, made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased another level. Real furniture doesn't have anything like a heart, so they don't have to love people, right? So they don't feel pain. If I'm just another piece of furniture, why do I have a heart? If it's going to be this painful and this harsh, I wish I was never given a heart like this. Huh? Let me think, what's going on here? Let me think. Okay, it's because, I still believe, I'm under the impression that the servants have something closer to do with Beatrice because of their eye color. So I'm wondering if Beatrice is actually talking, like she actually showed herself, which, I don't think she can do until the Twilight says she has been revived. So either that whole thing, I've just been thinking about it wrong, and she can show herself whenever, which ruins a lot of things. So I don't like it. Or because the servants have something deeper with Beatrice, that is why, like, for all we know, it's not actually Beatrice talking. It could just be Shannon making up Beatrice responding to her, like as a coping mechanism. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not buying it that Beatrice would just show herself. But let's just continue. I see. So a heart was given to furniture. It would seem that even that man is capable of some quite amusing things every now and then. What? The witch who never answered or laughed answered and laughed. I like that. That's a good line. Was it my imagination? Was I hearing things? No, that's wrong. After all, the next words became a voice, and I couldn't hear them, not with my heart, but with my ears. Golden sneer. Humans have continuously searched for the elements that make up the world since before the modern era. It is said that in ancient times the Greeks tried explaining the world with the 4 elements of wind, fire, water, and earth. And after that, over several millennia, humans added several elements to those 4, trying to explain the world with several interpretations, such as the 5 elements, the 6 elements, the 7 elements, the 8 elements, and the 12 elements. But they were never able to describe the one sole truth that exists, the single element. However, a single man appeared by the guidance of a star, and finally explained the single element that makes up the world. Know what it is? Shannon fearfully turned around. I don't buy it. Not for a second. I don't buy it. Right there. She existed. Not as an illusion, but as a reality. The contrast made by the lightning made it clear that this was no mere daydream. It's love. The witch of the portrait elegantly held a golden pipe to her mouth and giggled. She laughed at the ignorance that causes humankind's thoughts to stray far from the most simple answer. That man explained everything in the world with love. That is the single element. That man fully explained how the world was constructed with the smallest possible number. How simple and clear, how splendid, exhilarating, pleasant and thrilling. The year that man was finally born is called the start of the modern era. Shannon lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, her first word should be to ask that person's name. But she knew her name already. But without saying anything, Shannon knew the person's name, so she refrained. Wait, let me, okay. No, nothing. Continue. Ah, this song is good. No, surely it would be the greatest disrespect for someone who lived or worked on this island to ask this woman her name. After all, she was the other master of this island besides Kinso. Beatrice-sama? Indeed, I am Beatrice. Even after 1,000 years, I see that people still always give me that look when we first meet. The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being that mustn't be met with, and she took a step backwards. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch's portrait was touching her back. The sound of your troubles is love. Love, the single element that makes up the world. In other words, it is everything in this world. When is it lacking, then your world is lacking too. It is no different than scooping water into a canteen with a hole in it. Even if you scoop and scoop, the eternal desert of the heart never fills. It is the original sin that humans are founded upon and everything is made of. Understand? When Adam and Eve put the fruit of knowledge to their lips, love is what they learned of. Because of that, humans were chased out of the garden and became fully human. Which means that knowing love and suffering is what makes one human. You kind-hearted child. You ought to be praised. Now that you have gained this knowledge, you are no longer furniture. You are now human. I recognize that with all the authority of my name. Is it hard for a common person to understand? Very well then. Forgive me. It has been a long time since I have spoken with a human. Allow me to apologize for my talkativeness. Without waiting for a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while. Perhaps this isn't much by way of an apology, but I would be willing to grant that wish of yours with my power if you so desire. Huh? The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more than the witch's sudden appearance. I am offering to bring you and the one you love together. Normally, I would demand something of equal value in return. However, I am in a good mood, and you have never failed to pay your respects to me in the past. That is something worth rewarding. Is that true? Normally, Shannon would have been shocked and struck dumb by this seemingly impossible guest. However, almost as though she was already under the witch's spell, Shannon responded, with my magic, it would be no trouble at all to arrange for you to be joined with the one you love. Yes, of course. Shannon almost said that without thinking, but held back with her last bit of common sense. After all, this is a witch, a sinister being. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip in through the cracks in my heart and take me prisoner. The sort of temptation which so many fairy tale picture books warned me about when I was young is right in front of me now. Fear is also a form of respect. It may be pleasant for me, but we will make no progress this way. I may not differ much from the image of a detestable witch that you hold in your mind. However, I do bestow my favor upon those who respect me. Aren't humans the same? Well, I doubt any human would bestow a favor upon one with such a hostile attitude. My apologies. I didn't... Shannon eventually realized how rude she was acting towards this guest, and she finally digested the words that she had been spoken to her a short while ago. You are no longer furniture. Now you are human. As she reflected upon those words, Shannon felt as though the witch understood all her worries. What was that? Just now. About a reward. I say that I can arrange for you to be joined with the man who has captured your heart. Think of it as a sign of my gratitude for your diligence in polishing my portrait day after day. Calm yourself. I ask for nothing in return. I am generous. However, though I ask for nothing in return, I do have a request. Look, here it comes. Part of Shannon's heart sent her the warning. This is what all those scary picture books she's read when she was little had warned her about. Do you know of the small torii and shrine that have been constructed on the ocean very near this island, which you can see when you gaze at the cliffs? Oh, wait. Either she's about to ask her to tear down the torii, which is why it's tear down when Butler arrives, or she's gonna ask her to break the mirror. So what happened at the start was just a flash forward to now. That's why she was saying that she's gonna be a different person from now on, because she's going to be a person now. Character got updated. Was she here before? Like, I know she was there during the tea party, but I don't remember she was here during this. Oh, I'm gonna read it anyways. The Golden Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years, she has already surpassed the limits of humans, and it is said that she will appear in response to a human summons, just as demons do, to lend them her power for a price. I already read that. Okay, so maybe Shannon's changed. A young but experienced servant, she's normally calm and performs her job flawlessly, but she messes up when she gets nervous. Wait, what got updated? I'm back. I was called. Anyways, I did not see anything that updated unless Beatrice wasn't there before and she got added. Which, I'm assuming that's what happened. That makes sense. Shannon immediately remembered it. When you reached Ronkenjima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on the reef that was too small to be called even an islet. I'm pretty sure Kumasawa-san told me its history, but I can't remember it well. A traveling shugenja, a kind of holy man, had built it or prayed there or something. Yes, I know about it. But why do you bring it up? I will not explain everything, including the very basics, to one ignorant of demons. Simply put, it's causing me trouble. The truth is, there's a mirror kept inside that shrine. I want you to break it. Okay, so what we saw earlier was a flash forward. It was quite a suspicious request. Shannon didn't know the details, but anything stored inside a shrine would have to be something sacred, and she wants me to break it. Why would a witch ask a human for help instead of doing it herself? That right there, that's another, that, to me, that is more proof of the fact that Beatrice cannot interfere with anything until the Twilight says she was revived. So maybe Beatrice is here. She is speaking, but they're proving to me that she can't do anything. She doesn't have a physical body, just a visual one. There was no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice responded to Shannon's reasonable doubt before Shannon could give her an answer. The magical power of that mirror opposes my own. I cannot explain it well with human words. For example, let us speak of the differences between utensils. That mirror is a fork, and my power is soup. You cannot drink soup with a fork, correct? If only the resistance of that mirror were gone, I could produce a spoon ideal for drinking soup. After that, I could drink soup as I pleased, and even dig my way out of a rocky prison. I could even gouge someone's eyes out with it. Was that not the phrase? I don't know what you're talking about. If my poor education is to blame, I apologize. It comes down to this. If you take action and break that annoying mirror for me, I shall grant your wish as a reward. I am in quite a good mood today. You may even change your wish and receive all the gold I bestowed upon Kinso if you so desire. I refuse. Whoa. Really? What? When she heard Shannon's words, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectations had been betrayed. If you have a reason, tell me. If there has been some misunderstanding, I shall resolve it. I don't really understand the reason, but up until now, this island had been at peace and nothing bad has happened. So, even if I don't break the mirror, the peace that has existed until today should continue into the future. Huh. Yes, you're quite right. It's just as you say. If you don't break the mirror, the same unbreakable days that have passed until now will continue into tomorrow, and the next day. Why don't I give you an absolute guarantee? I shall stake my name, Beatrice, upon it. The unbreakable days before this time will continue into tomorrow and the next day, and for eternity in perpetuity. Shannon felt overwhelmed by an eerie illusion. The mirror probably existed for the purpose of restraining the witch, so if Shannon broke it, the person who stood to gain was supposedly the witch herself. And yet, Shannon felt somehow that she had to do it for her own sake. It felt that some premise had been switched around. I will do nothing but grant you a chance to bring your feelings to fruition. It's up to you to decide whether you'll break it or not. If you break it, I shall grant your wish. If you don't, the tomorrows that came before today will continue for all eternity. Your wish will not be granted for all time. Do you understand? Do you see what I mean? The witch was speaking. She was pressing Shannon, saying that she must break the mirror if she ever wanted to be united with George. It was a declaration that Shannon's feelings would never be brought to fruition unless she broke it. Please, stop it. I don't want to hear something like that. It was never my goal to cause you pain. Oh well. When love leads to madness, that is when we see the true charm of humanity. Enjoy that emotion to your heart's content. However, if you wish to borrow my power, feel free to break that mirror at any time. And then you may yell my name and awaken me. I will certainly keep my promise. This way, you should have no complaints, right? I won't force you. I can't force you to decide right now. Easy, is it not? Was it really such an easy thing to do? No, it certainly wasn't. To Shannon, who was burning with infatuation and worried by love, being tempted constantly and eternally with a way out was truly a cruel trial. I won't set a time limit on that promise, but there is a time limit on the magic that can grant your wish. That limit is not of my making. The one you love will decide it himself. You see my meaning? No, I don't understand. When the one you care for finds the partner to whom he ought to pledge his love, that limit will be reached. I may be a witch, but I am no demon. I possess no magic to tear apart a pair of those who love each other. The one you love will soon be attending a marriage meeting, yes? You may have stronger feelings for that man than anyone else in the world. However, that doesn't mean you are the most suitable partner for him, does it? I know with whom he will be having his marriage meeting. That girl is the most suitable for Ushiromiya George in the entire world. She came from a good school, achieved good grades, and possesses both composure and thoughtfulness. She is the most beautiful than you, wiser than you, more suitable than you. How could an ignorant, incompetent, uncultured girl like you ever be suitable? You know better than anyone. There are none less suitable than you! Even imagining that you and Ushiromiya George could be joined is sinful and foolish, foolish, foolish! Know your place! Have you forgot to be grateful for your education? Know your place. George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. He is a... Wait. Oh no, okay. George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. Wait, no, I'm confused. Beatrice's and Eva's voice sound familiar. I think it's Eva. I think it's Eva's voice. George is the eldest grandson carrying father's blood. He is a person who may bear the burden of the Ushiromiya family someday in the future. To answer to that expectation, he has studied tirelessly, entered a wonderful college, and is getting wonderful grades. Did you really think you could snatch George away, you uneducated, incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant? Whoa, 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 whoa! Stop it! Don't bully Shannon! Who the hell are you? At that time, as Shannon held her head, trying to protect her heart from the blade of Beatrice's words, Kanon ran in front of her. Kanon didn't care who this woman was. If this was an enemy tormenting Shannon, whom he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered. Kanon-kun, stay back! This person is... It seemed Kanon also realized that the being standing before him was the witch of the portrait. Break. Can I send you a picture of the highest amount of damage I've been able to achieve in a single hit? Oh, yes, go ahead. I hope you're still here. You sent that message a bit ago. Also, yeah, Beatrice, my queen. And also, that she was something to be feared. Fishy aroma. I simply wish to give Shannon a chance to claim her reward, but it seems I said too much and ended up hurting her. I must apologize for that. But I shall leave behind the promise as a reward to you. If you need my power, you can call me at any time. I have already told you how. Well then, let's call it a night. hostile gazes may be pleasant, but they damage your beauty, yes. Disappear! I don't know who you are, but you're threatening Shannon. Don't ever show yourself again! Kanon's words seemed to deeply annoy the witch. Watch your language, lowborn. I may be gracious to those who respect me, but I am brutal to those who do not. While she still smiled, the witch's face began to twist itself. Then an oppressive feeling that couldn't be noticed with any of the five senses gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't understand it, they immediately realized it was something terrifying. When you swim in the ocean and something large passes by in the water beneath you, you want to escape to land even before you learn what it is. That's exactly what this was like. Please stop, Beatrice-sama! Kanan-kun is still a child! I apologize for his language! Kanan placed his body between the witch and Shannon. There was tense sweat on his forehead. At that time, the witch certainly held Kanon's fate in the palm of her hand. She didn't even need to lift a finger. She held a grasp on his fate so tight that a single twist of her smile could easily crush it. Kanon understood that well, so he started sweating. His knees felt weak. However, Beatrice abruptly realized that feeling of tension and laughed. Very well. If you ask, I will forgive you just this once. Kanon, is it? In deference to her, I shall forgive you tonight and send you off. You ought to thank me. Well then, let us call it a night. In parting, I shall leave you with a small souvenir. Hold out the palm of your left hands, you two. When Beatrice grinned broadly and snapped her fingers, their left hands stretched out in front of them against their will and their palms opened. It was a strange sensation, as though only their left hands now belonged to someone else. It felt like only their left hands had become puppets, which were being pulled by strings hanging down from the ceiling. What are you trying to... Kanon resisted, but he couldn't retract his hand of his own will. Don't struggle. It will be over soon. When Beatrice held her pipe aloft, the gold-colored sparkling dust came out of the smoke and hovered in the air. That sparkle eventually became several gold butterflies. The beautiful butterflies danced freely throughout the reception hall, forming a fantastical and beautiful world, and two of those butterflies aligned on the palms of Shannon's and Kanon's hands. Ow! There was a sharp pain as though they had been burned. When the two of them tried to examine their palms, that hold on their bodies, which had been there a second ago, had gone without a trace. A mark? What is... There was now a tiny burn mark on the palm of her hand, and it was shaped like a butterfly. What is it supposed to... Apparently Kanon had the same mark on his hand. He stared at the witch hatefully. A simple greeting. I have no hidden motive. It is nothing more than a bruise, so it will heal in just a few days. There's not even any need to care for it. I made that mark so that tomorrow you will not forget that I was truly here, and that I made a promise with you. An encounter with me can be quite shocking. Sometimes, when the next morning comes, people try to think of such an encounter as a dream or an illusion. You ought to consider this slowly and carefully, Shannon. And you should probably take a good rest, look at my mark tomorrow morning, and try considering it again. I shall not coerce you in any way. You should freely decide your future by your own will. Still, to think that one could obtain the object of their desire for such a small price. Surely this would annoy to no end the great artists who write plays about blighted love. Well then, let us meet again when the chance arises. How how entertaining it is to have a conversation again after so long. Goodbye, furniture. Beatrice's body crumbled like smoke and blew away. It was golden smoke, no, a cloud of gold butterflies. They scattered in all directions inside the reception hall, leaving a golden splash before disappearing into thin air. Even after that, only the cold silence was left. It was so silent, it made both of them think they might have been daydreaming until just a moment ago, which was why the witch had left those marks. She had done so to make it impossible for them to think of this as a daydream. As Shannon and Kanon remembered the butterfly bruises on their hands and the pain they felt when they'd been made, they kept standing still, stunned. And from that moment on, Shannon was tormented by days of suffering and conflict. Incredible. That was awesome. She is so fun to read. Oh my gosh. I hope she goes all evil again. That's the funnest to read. Let us see this picture and other DMs I have gotten. What? 64,000? There's... oh my gosh. Oh no, okay, the highest number is the single hit one. The highest damage number. Okay, that's 52,000. Wow. Okay, but you set it up, I say. So it's like the lots of damage buffs and all that. Cool. That's really rad. It's really funny because, like, 9999 is usually the cap in RPG, so that's really fun to see. Wait, million? I thought that was a period, not a comma. Oh my gosh, it is 2 commas! I thought it was a period because I couldn't imagine that it would go that high. 52 million. I just, my brain immediately like, yeah, that's a period at the end. Wait, what does it matter if it's a period? I was just being foolish, I see. That's... wow. Can anyone survive that damage? Is there anything in the game with more than 52 million HP? Wow. Incredible. I see now. That is terrifying. A couple? It's not even like just one, but like the hardest one out. There's a few. Alright, wait 1 second, I'll be right back. Gonna get some water. I have returned. Apologies for taking so long. I got preoccupied with something. Let us begin. What? What do you mean separate rooms? So wait, you and George Nissan stayed in different rooms on purpose? Yes. Is it really so strange? Jessica's cheeks had been stuffed with a chocolate-coated Shinsuku biscuit that Shannon had brought as a present from Okinawa. Okay, so now we have jumped. Okay, so far the timeline is everything that happened at the manor, ending with the meeting with Beatrice, then the aquarium date they had with George and Shannon, and now we're here. Weird. So obviously the engagement hasn't happened yet. George giving her the ring. And I don't think she has broken the mirror yet. Oop, wrong button. And it all came flying out at Shannon when Jessica cried out. Shannon, why did you even go on a trip to Okinawa? You were even alone with George Nissan. Well, he said there was a huge aquarium in Okinawa and invited me to go. And I like fish and stuff. No, that's not the point. We're talking about a healthy guy and a girl going on an overnight trip, right? And you're saying there wasn't even any hugs and kisses? And seriously, what's up with the guy and girl staying in different rooms? As for kisses, no comment. But we did hug. George-san's chest was warm. That's not the point! Jeez. Why do couples like this exist? Jeez. I can't take it anymore. From Shannon's point of view, it was an incredibly happy trip for various reasons, but it looked like Jessica found her pace to be quite irritating. For a while, Jessica chewed her presence, complaining about romance and pretending to feign in agony on her bed. Shannon and George had chosen to go to Okinawa because there was a huge aquarium there. They did this because an aquarium had given them an opportunity to start going out. Since the relationship had started at an aquarium, having their first overnight trip also be an aquarium must have had some commemorative value. That's like a huge commemorative turning point! And your first overnight trip! How could you not make all kinds of progress there? But instead, you both got separate rooms! A couple taking 2 separate rooms! Jeez. What's wrong with you? But we are both unmarried. George-san says showing restraint is good manners for a couple. Like I said, the whole point of this overnight trip was so you could overcome that stage, right? You should be way beyond just kissing and hugs by now. Milady, I don't know what you mean by that. But George-sama was a real gentleman with me until the end. That is, I mean, I also wondered if those things would happen, you know? But even though we are going out, I mean, it's not like we're married or anything. Those things you seem to be expecting. Should only be done after making a vow before God. Shannon's face got bright red. She made a circle with both hands restlessly intertwining, separating and making heart marks with them. Apparently the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to hadn't happened, but it seemed to have been a very important experience for Shannon in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her. I want a boyfriend too! I can't believe you got ahead of me! Even though we promised that we'd find boyfriends at the same time, you beat me! You're a wonderful person, my lady, so I'm sure you'll find someone wonderful much quicker than me. Don't try to console me! Shannon, you traitor! Get out! Shut up! Jessica threw several cushions at her, but midway she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. Shannon hurriedly ran over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Jessica picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. I don't like how much they bring attention to it. Like, it's gonna be an important plot point eventually, and it's gonna suck bollocks. Oops, did I read that? She breathed in the medicine. After a while, she made it overcome and choked the asthma and settled down. Shannon thought this was a good chance to leave and tried to exit the room after bowing courteously. As she did, one more small caution came flying and hit Shannon on the head. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, having her face buried in her last and favorite cushion. That face was red and meek. My lady? Shannon, be honest with me. Is my hairdo and stuff weird? What are you saying? I think your hair is very beautiful. Then are my eyes strange? Or maybe my nose? Or is it the way I talk after all? Is that why I can't get a boyfriend? Of course not. My lady, you are wonderful enough as you are. And I think your charm will keep on increasing more and more from now on. But I'm the only one who can't find a boyfriend. Saku and Hina managed to get boyfriends, but only I can't. Is it because I don't have any charm after all? You know, everyone says they'll bring their boyfriends to the cultural festival. And I was so sure I'd have a boyfriend before then, so I started bragging. There's no way I'll get a boyfriend. I'm the only one. Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course, she felt like supporting Shannon's progress in love as a friend. However, as she had cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly gotten mixed in, and she couldn't help but shed tears. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. As a daughter and successor to the Ushinomiya family, and as a girl isolated on Rokkenjima, the only person she could expose her true feelings to was Shannon. Shannon understood that, so she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little. Sorry. I'm so weird crying like this. Sorry. You're a wonderful person, my lady. There's no way you won't find a wonderful man. Shannon, it's about that time, right? If you don't quickly, Genji-san and Mom will get mad. I'm just fine, so hurry up. Sorry for crying like this. I'm such a moron. Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon, waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign that Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore, bowed her head, and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica laid down in her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes. But for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart. I also want to fall in love. Oh, that was sweet. Good scene, good scene. As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around, thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them. But what she saw was that witch. Really? Beatrice-sama! It's been quite some time. How are you? Has your relationship with the one you love progressed since last we met? As Beatrice sat on the rose arch, she happily blew on her pipe. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses, and it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over, but this was a witch after all. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time. Yes! Thanks to you, it's going smoothly. Oh, okay, so she broke the mirror already, so the timeline is the manor, breaking mirror, Okinawa date. Yes. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Naturally, the effects of my magic are immediate. Perhaps you feel your meeting was a predetermined fate. However, that is a mistake. Don't even think fate has anything to do with it. I understand that. The witch was calling attention to something. Two things, actually. First, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that would be absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. Second, that the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten warped up in those sweet days, and had started believing the illusion that all fate revolved around her. But she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well. Sorry, please forgive me. It's just like doctors. You cling to them when you're worried about your health, but after you're healed, you forget to even thank them. I've never been thanked as a witch, so I couldn't help acting a little rudely. Please forgive me. The gratitude I feel has never slipped my mind. It's thanks to your power that I was able to achieve happiness, Beatrice-sama. And without that power, the fate that brought me and George-sama together would never have happened. I have never forgotten that. Sorry. It's not like I came here to bully you. Being rude is just part of my personality. Do forgive me. More importantly, I heard. So you went on a trip alone with him. I imagine it must have been quite fun. Yes, it was very fun. Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly as though amused by the speed of the transformation. Already, the one you care for is more than the object of one-sided love. You are a pair of lovers now. When two people are filled with love, nothing else is needed to establish a complete world. Perhaps you could call that a wonderful, ideal world. Even witches would be jealous. Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile made her look as though she blessed the lovers' rendezvous from the bottom of her heart without a trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led her to her current relationship with George. So Shannon tried with all her might not to act surprised or scared. That's right. Beatrice-sama, I bought some sweets as a souvenir from our trip. Would you like to try some too? Oh, that's so cute. Oh, a souvenir for a witch. It seemed that even a witch who boasted of living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she received a souvenir from a sweet lover's trip. When she saw the surprised expression, Shannon thought that of this witch as a friend for the first time. Oh, an Eastern cookie made from wheat flour and lard. To warp that in Western chocolate is truly a blending of the Japanese and Western styles, the silk roads of sweets. What? What's so funny? Nothing. My apologies. The witch who surely held the terrifying power was chomping down on the sweets one after another, making it sound like a squirrel stuffing walnuts into its mouth. After a while, Shannon couldn't conceal her laughter. A good meal. I should serve you some dulce vita from Nero. I should serve you some dulce vita from Nero from one of these days. Roses are the symbol of eternal love. I believe a rose dulce would be appropriate for you now. The witch was in a great mood after fully enjoying modern candy. Here. I truly am grateful. I believe you've done more than enough for me already, so I'm returning this. The thing Shannon had softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch. There is no need to return it. If you continue holding that, your relationship should remain firm in perpetuity. Maybe it was the power of magic that brought us together, but I think only the two of us working together can turn that into something that lasts forever. Love and roses are the same. Too much fertilizer causes the roots to rot. Some roses cannot be raised without hard work. In that case, do as you wish. You may wear it or keep it in a box. That is my goodwill given to you. Having you return it to me won't please me at all. My apologies. That's not what I... No harm has been done. That brooch is already yours. If you treasured that proof of our friendship, it would indeed bring me some comfort. You may hold on to it and gain its benefits, or you may keep it in a box. If you wish, you may even give it to another who is worrying about love, or you could simply treasure it. Of course, it would pain my heart if you wasted it. According to Beatriz, she had appeared several times in the past in response to a person's summons to give them some tool imbued with magical power. However, when most people used that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools they had been given with disgust. So, it is quite rare for me to be thankful for my goodwill. In fact, this might even be the first time. The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like that now. Beatriz was definitely a witch with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they couldn't help it. Surely even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she had started thinking that way, Shannon had tried to stop being frightened of Beatriz. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatriz, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served her and looked to be in remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, that witch and the servant grew animated in their discussion of the trip with George. The things Shannon actually knew about Beatriz were surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being who appeared in unexpected places at unexpected times, and it seemed that not everyone could perceive that she was there. Apparently, everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive which just varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Kanon could interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were a few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatriz said, Kraus and his wife in particular had zero magical talent, and no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once early... Wait. Then how did, she show you? Okay, no. Okay, so... Thank you. This makes a lot of sense. Before the Twilight says she is revived, only those with keen spiritual powers can see her. But after the Twilight says she is revived, then everyone can see her then. That's why before she was revived, only Maria saw her. Interesting. Very interesting. And the fact that Kanon didn't actually see her, only the butterflies, just leads me to believe more that Kanon wasn't actually attacked by Beatriz. So once again, firm believer that Beatriz could not interact with anything until the Twilight said so. Boom, bam, 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 wham, bam. Thank you, game. Thank you. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsuhi got really mad at her, Beatriz had started playing around, hitting Natsuhi on the head with her pipe. Oh, no! I see. Natsuhi really doesn't notice a thing. But Shannon, watching that, had burst out laughing without thinking, and I'd gotten scolded even more. Then what about the master? I hear he's been doing research in magic, so I'm sure he'll be able to notice you, Beatriz-sama. Wow, streamer anguish. No, I'll drop the game. Don't test me. Kinso is the same. He also has a pitiful lack of magical talent. It's the blood. He has so little talent that I pity him. Huh? As soon as they started talking about Kinso, it felt like the atmosphere around Beatriz changed. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magic talent as though she looked down on them, but she spoke of Kinso in a different way. Anyone connected to the Ushiramiya family would know about Kinso's legend of the gold. Drop the game into your Steam favorites, you mean, right? We'll see. We'll see. Anyone connected though? According to that, Kinso was given the gold after summoning the witch Beatrice. In other words, she must have had some kind of relationship with Kinso. That was because he succeeded despite having not even a scrap of talent. He kept studying by himself like mad and managed to become a magician. So that's something really incredible, right? Indeed. The witch who usually looked down on people who was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him by saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts. And then the master summoned Beatrice-sama with the power of magic. Indeed. Well, I only answered the summons on a whim. After all, in this period where magic has long been denied, there was a man who was without a scrap of talent, yet so desperate to succeed. I thought I'd drop by and poke some fun at him, and that's when my luck ran out. Her choice of words highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Shonen hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued on her own, ignoring Shonen. Ooh, please show us a young Kinso. Please show us a young Kinso. I really want to see a young Kinso. After all, his contract did have a proper format and set of rules. Various procedures were mixed up, but, well, in the deference to his enthusiasm, I graciously accepted his contract. Then I gave him a mountain of gold. And even the master used that gold and succeeded in business and grew his wealth into what it is today. Indeed, his talent in magic was minimal, but it seemed he had a knack for business and gambling. Or perhaps it was due to the bravery and madness that led him to risk everything on unreasonable bets. Madness sometimes acts as magical power. I see. If you look at it that way, perhaps it isn't quite fair to say he was completely lacking in magical talent. Shonen felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Ushiramiya family knew the story of how Kinso idolized black magic, summoned a witch, and received the gold, in actuality, it was all rambling that no one believed in. Never stop gambling! True! Oh, you can always hit it big. Like, you can only lose 100% of your money, but you can make back 1,000%. Think about that. And now Shonen was having his story confirmed by the witch herself. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew. Once Kinso gained his vast fortune, he could realize every dream that can be satisfied by objects obtainable in the human world. And in the end, he searched for the truth of this world. The truth of this world? The single element that makes up the world. Kinso, who had gained everything one can obtain in the human world, searched for that, the final desire humans seek. The single element. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before. When Beatrice saw Shonen trying to remember what that was, she laughed bitterly, waving her hand and saying there was no need to worry. I underestimated Kinso just a tad. I truly didn't expect him to display such power. And thanks to that, I'm in this state. I've been sewn in place on this island for several decades now, without even a friend to drink tea with. No matter whom I try to talk to, my voice doesn't reach them, and no matter where I go, I cannot do anything. Such boring decades. As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped her teacup with her finger and made the light sound of pottery. Shonen didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on the witch's face. Shonen didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. And it was probably a topic that couldn't press the witch on easily, nonetheless the witch started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she had said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinso's magic, could not leave this island for some reason, and she had lost her power and her form, leaving her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shonen, who never forgot to show her sincere respect for the witch. and Shannon who helped the witch regain her power if only a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this. That's really cool. I like that a lot. That's really cute. I like that. I'm happy. That's cute. I like that. That's very cool. Beatrice-sama, what in the world was that mirror you told me to break? That. Long ago, it seems various things happened on this island, sir, around this area. Because of that, malignant forces gathered here and began to draw an evil distortion. It seemed a traveling Eastern magician or something built a shrine on the repose of souls and sealed them in there. That in itself has nothing to do with me, but unfortunately that magical power rested on a different foundation than mine. It created a strong interference with my magic and was extremely bothersome. Is that how it is? And I just assumed it was existed only to steal you, Beatrice-sama. I was not his target, but it was a divine mirror. As a result, my power was sealed away. To use food as an example, maybe it would go something like this. Let's say the Western food I ordered is being made in the kitchen. However, when they try to set the table, the area for the guests eating is in the Japanese style with Japanese style dishes. And so the kitchen is unable to serve a plate that would be out of place, and no matter how long I wait, my Western food won't arrive. Something like that. So imagine a burger. So you destroy the Japanese style guest seating and return the area to a blank slate for a time. Thanks to that, this meal I had ordered was finally delivered and my power came back, you could say. However, so far only the aperitif arrived. It will still be quite some time before the main dish. As I am now, I am even more fragile than a shoe store fairy. What's so amusing? Nothing. I just thought your metaphor was pretty funny. I never would have thought to use a story about food as a metaphor for magic. I thought it a rather skillful comparison, but I certainly didn't expect it to be laughed at. I'm a bit offended. A slightly sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the face of some friends as they enjoy their tea. Although I may not look it, I was known for doing extremely brutal things in the past. I've gotten soft. Now I can even have a foolish discussion while drinking a tea with a human. She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the seabirds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips again. The clouds have come out. When the ocean loses its brilliance, it's nothing more than a grey puddle. You think so? I think the ocean is beautiful deep blue even when it gets cloudy. Huh. Maybe the witch noticed the deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup. It seems those things buried in your eyes aren't black pebbles anymore. How is it? Do you see how it feels for furniture to be reborn as a human? Yes. I never knew the world was this kind. Since the start of the relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter than before. Her smile had made everything go smoothly and had even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes in her work than she had before, and the family members' opinions of her was slowly starting to change. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Kraus, who rarely exchanged words with her, has suddenly started talking to her.
You've been wearing a splendid smile more often lately, haven't you? Has something good happened?
No, but every day is fun, yes.
Wonderful. It goes without saying that coffee is more delicious when poured with a smile. Could I ask you for the smile once more?
Yes, sir. This had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it wasn't so big a change that anyone would notice. But she had begun to change bit by bit. Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love was the same as guiding a soul. The same as being reborn from furniture into a human. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned that what it was to be human. These have been unusual snacks. It was time well spent. It's probably about time for you to return to your work, so let us end our tea party now. After all, it seems a certain person doesn't like seeing us drink tea together. Huh? The witch gripped the teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into the nearby bush. The bush shook violently and Kanon came out. It seemed he had been there for some time watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood. Do not worry. Our tea party is over now, Kanon. How long have you been there? If you had called to us, I poured you some tea too. I imagine that you didn't want to interrupt a pair of women talking, right? Kanon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect. But unlike Shannon, Kanon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies which flew upwards all at once. They had been scattered in every direction and the cleanup was already done. It was fun, Shannon. Let us meet again if the chance arises. My magical power is still quite lacking. It's tiring even to show myself. If you're that tired, never appear again. I'm gonna drink some water. Kanona had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled, but did not reply. Shannon, tell me more about George at our next tea party. There are no snacks sweeter than a person's love life. See you again. She is such a joy to read. Oh my gosh, her dialogue is so fun. She's going up. She's going up in the hierarchy of characters. That's a tier. She moved up a tier. Beatrice's body had become gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. Loves Beatrice. Yeah, this game is so fun. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. She'll go up and up till she's at the tip top. I don't know. Natsui, it's a humongous mountain to surpass. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Kanona approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that had drastically different from hers. Nisan, didn't I tell you to stay away from her? Beatrice-sama isn't that bad of a person. Yes, she might be a little shady, but the fact that only we can see her is suspicious enough. That thing isn't human. Who knows what she might be planning? Kanan-kun, I think that's a little rude. There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Kanon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Kanon looked excessively surprised, considering Shannon's tone, fell silent. It's true that Beatrice-sama is different from humans. She has a terrifying power, so I think it's right for us to fear and respect her. Still, I think it's incredibly rude to despise her just because she's isn't human. I understand what you're trying to say, Nisan. You're changed ever since she gave you that brooch. It's like you're her prisoner. She brought you and George-sama together, and now you're indebted to her. Don't say things like that. That thing isn't human. We don't know what she's thinking, so you mustn't trust her. And we aren't humans either. Nisan. Kanon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head. We are furniture. Even if we receive names and are treated as humans, that won't change the manner of our birth. You are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind. I am not furniture. No, you are furniture. We are less than human. Nisan, you're just pretending to have forgotten, pretending to be human. You know that as well as I do.
I am not furniture. I'm human.
No, you aren't. We have never possessed what it takes to love or be loved. Kanon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meetings with the witch. Shannon's picked up on that quickly. I heard from a lady. Seriously, what were you thinking? I can't believe you would go on a trip with George-sama. You've forgotten your place as furniture. You've just been tempted by that witch, mistakenly believing that you become human.
Listen, Kanon-kun. It's true that we're furniture, lesser beings inferior to humans. But if it were possible to make up for what we lack, wouldn't that be the same as becoming human?
Such a thing could never happen.
No, it could! If we can do that, we won't be furniture anymore. We can become human.
Ridiculous. As if you could ever do such a thing. Kanon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably given up. After all that suffering he'd undergone during those days he'd left as furniture, his heart was finally sealed.
You can do it too, Kanon-kun. You can become a normal human.
Stop it. That's the witch talking.
Yes. Beatrice-sama taught me. By obtaining the single element of this world, we can become human. Or rather, nobody's human if they don't have that. That's why people spend their entire lives trying to gain that single element.
I don't understand what you're saying, Isan. I don't want to listen to ranting.
Then I will teach shit in a way even you can understand. Look, see what I'm pointing at.
Shannon quietly pointed at the sea towards the horizon. Kanon didn't understand what she meant, and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, which seemed to be posing a riddle.
The sea. Kanon-kun, what color does the sea look to you?
It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Kanon tried to guess the meaning behind it, but he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently. It's a hazy, dark gray color. So what? Objectively speaking, the sea laid out between the cloudy sky could probably be described best by Kanon's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly.
It looks a deep blue to me.
Is that what you mean? Like how Japanese people use the word blue to refer to a green traffic light?
No. The sea is deep blue. If I understand and you don't, then that's the difference between us.
Kanon bit his lower lip and was silent for a while. I don't understand.
Kanon-kun, would you stick out your hand?
As Kanon was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly said something there. There was that magic brooch which she had received from Beatrice. A magic charm shaped like a gold butterfly that could bring love to a fruition. This is hers.
No, this is mine. So think of it as me and treat it with respect, okay?
After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Kanon didn't know what he should do, and he stood there confused for a while, the brooch still in the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Kanon's, and the brooch was warmed by both of their hands.
This charm holds true magical power. I'm sure it'll teach you an important emotion, Kanon-kun.
There's nothing to be learned from that person's magic.
No, there is something. So wear it. If that's embarrassing, I hear it's okay if you just hide it in your pocket.
Ridiculous. As if I'll let the magic of that person lead me astray. Even as he said that, Kanon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Kanon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he'd prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back.
I'm sure you'll be able to learn something important from it. And I'm sure you can become human. And when you do, I'm sure this ocean would look like a beautiful blue to you as well, Kanon-kun.
Gray is gray, no matter how many times you look.
That's wrong, Kanon-kun. It only looks like that because you have no...
Huh? Because of the howling wind, he hadn't been able to catch the main point of what she just said. So Shannon said it once more. The single element of the world. She spoke once more of the world where it existed, where the sea was deep blue.
I'm sure you'll be able to see a deep blue ocean too. After all, without love, It cannot be seen.
Without home, it cannot be stuck. Isn't that the truth? Without bait, there cannot be rage. Ah, Kinso! Oh my gosh. Crap, okay. I am disgruntled because I've been dying to read Kinso Dialogue for a long time now. I've missed them a lot. But I'm afraid I must stop here. It is over. So the plan from now on is what I'm trying to do, hopefully I don't fail, is more frequent streams but shorter streams. So I won't be streaming for 5 hours again, but hopefully this, because when I do that I get burnt out. That's why I take long breaks. So if I just stream more frequently but shorter, maybe we can do more progress. A stream where we don't get edged? Really? Well, thank goodness. So it's a very good ending point then. Indeed. No edging today. So yes, this is where we end for now. We shall just stream for 1 hour with a 5-minute break in between. Can recover in that time. True. I mean, technically I did get a small break, you know, when I went to get my water. Anyways. End of stream. The end. Good stream. That was nice. Episode 2 is definitely starting slow, but I'm enjoying it a lot. There's lots of sweet scenes. I'm smiling a lot. That Jessica's scene was very sweet. And of course, everything with Beatrice is just making me like her more. But indeed, farewell to all. May I see you all next stream. Bye bye.